training program FDP on first-hand experience on SPSS introductory module by Dr. Chanchala Zain. This is organized by World Innovators University, School of Business Administration Bhagwan, Parasuram Institute of Technology, Research Foundation of India, and RFI-CARE. RFI strictly working for the social upliftment and higher education quality and Indian research promotions in the form of events like international, national conferences, seminar, workshops, symposium, and other activities. RFI works for the integration of intellectual ideas across the globe to fulfill the thrust of innovation of humanity. Research Foundation of India is concerned with improving the education process by encouraging scholarly inquiry related to the education and practical application of research results. Research Foundation of India is working for research and development of for higher education. It has signed MOU with top universities from India. RFI member are faculty, researchers, graduate students, and other distinguished professionals with rich and diverse expertise in education research. RFI does not take any financial sponsor from any government body. Research Foundation of India has organized 1,000 plus international conferences and workshops, FDP, symposia, etc. all over the world. Now, RFI having 87 chapter in India and 18 chapter in Asian and other countries, and categorized in five board West, East, South, North, and Central zone. Now, our keynote speaker, Dr. Chanchala Zain. She is master trainer and research expert. Dr. Chanchala Zain is author, research expert, and academician with an experience of more than 11 years in management and commerce as an assistant professor. She is a co-founder of Urja Counseling and Training, Indore. Presently, she is working as assistant professor in Prestige Institute of Management and Research, Indore. She is also the co-coordinator of IQAC at CIMR as a research expert and trainer. She has conducted many workshops and FDPs on SPSS module, research paper writing, and analysis through R programming. Recently, she has completed one research project related to the medical field, which has been presented before the Central Ministry. She has chaired and co chaired various conferences. She has a rich experience of more than 10 years in research, and with this, she has more than 42 research papers published in various Scopus, national, and international journals. She has also presented research papers in more than 20 conferences and won 5 Best Paper Award at GIMS Delhi, Pacific University Udaipur, and 3 in Prestige Indore. 4 research scholars pursuing their PhD degree under her able guidance. She has also guided more than 500 students in their major and minor research project. As an author, she is also written a book on crucial problem of our society along with co-author titled as Atmahatya Kyun. We welcome you, ma'am. And now over to you, ma'am. You can start now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Richa ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
for the introduction of mine to the participants. Thank you so much for sparing time for that. Before proceeding, at the onset, I want to extend my gratitude towards RFI and all the organizing organizations, those who are conducting this workshop, 7 days workshop, or I must say FDP, for the scholars and the faculty members. Maybe this FDP will help them. I'll try my best to explain the things in easier manner so that you people can get the better understanding about the conceptual aspects and about the research tools which we are going to cover in this 7 days FDP. So, Ajay sir, Saurabh sir, once again, I want to extend my gratitude towards you for giving me one more opportunity to share my knowledge with the participants through this platform. Thank you all the RFI team or family for once again conducting the same SPSS workshop. for the learners. So with this, I think I'm all set now for starting the session. So a very warm good evening to all the participants, those who are attending this 7 days workshop. Today is the first day, and today I'm going to discuss the basic concepts about the SPSS. We will see how SPSS works. We will see how we can create variables in SPSS, and then we will see a few of the operations that we can perform in SPSS. And then from tomorrow onwards, we will see how we can apply various kind of statistical tools using SPSS. So I think today itself I have joined the WhatsApp group. But before proceeding with the session, I want to get a confirmation from the participants that can anyone, or I think everyone, confirm me whether you people are having the SPSS software with you or not?
Ma'am.
No, we don't have. I don't have.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I
Okay.
do have.
No, ma'am.
I do have.
Okay. Okay. But problem is, if you are not having the SPSS, in that case, it would be quite difficult for you people to understand that how to perform the tool. So I request you people. I think I'm going to discuss very basic thing about the SPSS. But what you people can do, you people can go to the IBM SPSS website. You can just type on the Google that IBM SPSS, and it will be once you will click on the first link, it will land you on the IBM SPSS web page, and from there you can create your account and can download the trial version of SPSS. So for a month you can use that particular software. So I expect everyone to do this exercise. Only then it would be I think beneficial for you people to join this FDP, because this is we are doing this hands-on type of training. So if you will perform along with me, you will learn a lot, right? Is it fine? I think you will have understood what I said. Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Clear
Okay,
from
ma'am.
my end.
Fine. Thank you so much. So before proceeding and talking about the analysis using SPSS, firstly I need to talk about research. As we all know that research, generally known as searching again and again, it's a very common understanding or the meaning of research. From research we can say it is re plus search, means searching again and again. So why this searching we are doing again and again? Because over a period of time, or we can say with the time, things are getting changed. So might be possible in the same field so many new things are coming, and we need to explore those things. And by exploring those things, maybe these things can help the marketers or maybe the stakeholders of that particular field, and that way maybe they can make proper strategies, they can make proper planning to work in that particular domain. So this is the main purpose or aspect of research. Now when I talk about a research paper, so we all know that before proceeding, I think, and or talking about this particular research paper type of things, can anyone tell me what are your fields, from which fields people are? Means maybe people are from the management side or maybe some other side. So people can tell me.
Management.
Ma'am, environmental science.
Okay.
Management, HR analytics.
Managing, ma'am.
Management. Okay, great.
Management.
Oh, great. Okay, few people are, I think, typing in chat box. So I think I can read that. Okay. So I think many of you are from management side, but few of you are from some different sides. Maybe some people are from the
We
science
are
field or
from
from,
education, ma'am.
yeah, education side. Very good. I think one is from CSR. Siddhesh sir is saying he is from CSR. Someone is from engineering background. Okay, so no problem. Pharmacy is also there. Okay, that's great. So more or less, if I say research is generally whenever we are talking about, okay, I think I can read various types of field you people are writing in the chat. I can read that. Okay. So if I say, if I'm talking about a research paper, so generally in research paper, the very first thing which we are going to write is the introduction part. In that particular introduction, we are generally discussing our title. But the question is from where we need to select the title. So title is we are selecting from our own experience, from our own observations, or from the discussion with some experts of the field, or from our friends or colleagues, like that, right? So when we are discussing, we are understanding this type of problems are prevailed in that particular environment or domain, and that way somewhere we can understand that if we are selecting that particular topic or we are touching that particular domain, maybe we are able to understand the problems, or that way we can suggest some solutions to the stakeholders, right? So this is a one way of selecting the title. Other way is if we are totally blank, or maybe if we are unable to observe the things or environment. In that case, what we can do, we can go to the literature review, because I think we all know in which field we want to do work. Maybe suppose if I say myself, so might be possible I want to write my papers in either finance or in marketing. So somewhere I can go in the Google, I can, or Google Scholar or something like that. There are various platforms available, and I can type a particular title or particular field. I can type, and I want to see the related topics on that particular field. And that way, after reading the titles, it will generate my curiosity, it will generate interest to me, and that way similar types of topics I will find, and I can read those topics. And might be these topics and these research papers, complete research papers, may help me to understand that this particular thing I can explore further also. Means I can dig that, I can go deep, and might be I can touch some other aspect which has been not explored by the previous researchers, right? So that way literature can also help us to find the research title. After finding the research title, using the literature, we can understand, or we can what I can say, deal with the introduction part by our own, once we are deciding our title. And then generally the title firstly we are taking, that would be your tentative title. But with the proceeding of your research, might be possible some changes we can make in the titles also, and the we can say at the end we are finalizing the title, right? Further, after writing the introduction part, we are going ahead and we are writing the literature review part. Literature review part means what types of researches has been carried on in this particular field previously. And that way we are writing the short, or we can say we are writing a para after reading a complete paper. We are writing a short abstract type of thing, short para type of thing in the literature form. And that way that thing we are quoting in our researches. So this way give these things are giving the strength to our researches. That means these are the things, or these are the researches which are giving the foundation for our present research paper. So that way we are writing the literature. We further we are deciding the objectives, then hypothesis. Then we are going to write the research methodology part. Research methodology will help you out to, means it is a kind of blueprint for us. So it will give us the direction as we are proceeding. So after writing the research methodology, then we are going to write the what I can say, data analysis. Means in the research methodology we are going to discuss from which field or from which particular source we are going to collect the data, and so on. And that way we are preparing questionnaire, we are collecting the data, and then the analysis part will come. So in this particular workshop we will see how we can do the analysis of the data once we are having the data along with us. So this way means this way in data analysis comes, it means it is a very later stage. Firstly you need to create a basic aspect or basic foundation of your research paper or your research study. So with this I am starting the conceptual aspect for today's workshop. Give me a second, I am going to share my screen with all of you. Okay, I shared my screen. I think I want confirmation from your side whether my screen is visible or not. I am showing a document to you. I hope I'm audible. Friends, I think let me clear you one thing. As we are working on, or as we are conducting this particular FDP through the Google Meet, and in Google Meet, this is the what I can say structure, that once I'm going to share my screen, it will not show me the backend screen. So if you are giving me thumbs, or if you are writing something in chat, I would not be able to see. So now you need to interact with me if I'm asking you whether the screen is visible or not. So any one of you can take a pen and can do yourself unmute and tell me yes or not, right? So it's visible or not, please tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So as we are talking about the data analysis, so first thing which I'm going to discuss is the variable. So give me a second. I need to increase its size for you people. Yes. I hope whatever I'm writing is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So now if I say the term variable, can anyone tell me what do you understand by this term variable? Yes. What do you mean by a variable?
Something that changes. That's
Something
not
that
constant.
changes. Very good. Which is not constant. Very good. Anyone else?
Can be measure.
Can be measured. Okay.
Parameters.
Parameters. Okay. Anyone else?
Ma'am, factors affecting something.
Factors affecting something. Okay. Fine. Okay. I think initially, sir said I don't know who told me. May I know the name? The very first person who was interacting me. I don't know the name of the sir.
Yeah, myself, Yogesh.
Yogesh sir. Yogesh sir said, which is changing, right? This is what you said, sir, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Sir said a variable is which is changing. Means variable is an entity, or we can say it's a characteristics of something which is known as variable, which can accept any value. Suppose if I say the color of hair, right? So color of hairs is it is changing from person to person, right? So we can say that is a variable. So variable is an entity which changes from one object to other object, which is variable. Or variable is an entity which can accept any value, that is variable. Which varies, it is variable, right? So the very simple definition, which varies, is variable. So generally, if we talk about research, in research we can say generally there are two types of variable. First one is independent, or second one is the dependent. Independent and dependent, the definition is very simple. If we talk about dependent variable is a variable which value, or the value of the variable is changing according to the value of independent variable. Or dependent variable is a variable whose value is depending upon the value of independent variable. An independent variable is a variable which is making change in dependent variable, right? So that is generally we can say these are the two broad classification of variables. Apart from that, other classification can be qualitative and quantitative. This way also we can bifurcate the variables, qualitative variable and quantitative variable. Say for example, color of hairs. So again we can say it's a kind of qualitative variable. But if I say the weight of a people can be a kind of quantitative variable. Means where the numbers are associated with the variable value, or where that way we can say it's a quantitative variable. But when the variable is showing you only the characteristics, it's a kind of qualitative variable. So this way there are various types of various types of bifurcation available, through which we can understand the types of variables. But broadly these two are the enough to understand that dependent, independent, or qualitative and quantitative variable. Now
Ma'am,
further,
sorry to disturb in between. I
yes,
wanted to ask something. How does stochastic and deterministic comes in this picture? Can you help me out? I'm always confused that way.
I'm sir, I
Stochastic
think
variable
not
and
clear. You're
deterministic.
not properly audible to me.
Stochastic and deterministic variable.
I think, sir, it is little high level. And if I'm
Okay.
talking about according to this FDP, so in this FDP, we need to only discuss about dependent and independent.
Yeah, thank you.
Is it okay? Hello? Kshitish, sir, I think. Sir, is it fine?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah. Now, if I say further, because we know, suppose for example, as I am from the management field, and suppose I want to measure the perception of the students towards for example, the teaching which we are doing in the classroom teaching. It means we can say we want to understand or we want to measure the perception of the students towards the classroom teaching, right? So in that case, we can say we are having a variable that is a student's perception. So can anyone tell me, if I want to measure this variable that is a student's perception, what type of things I need to use, means what I need to use to measure the student's perception? Can anyone tell me?
It will
Satisfactory,
be qualitative
average.
type.
Sorry.
It will be qualitative.
It will be qualitative. Nithya, I'm very correct. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, fine. So as ma'am said, it's a qualitative variable. Very correct. Means it's a kind of thing which we cannot directly measure, right? So if I want to measure, say for example, if I say I want to measure the weight of the students of my class, so I think we all know how we can measure the weight, right? We are having an apparatus available. Using that apparatus, we can easily calculate or measure the weight of the students, right or not?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Right.
Yeah, but if I want to measure the perception of the student, there is no apparatus, there is no yardstick available to me. Using that, we can measure the perception. So in that case, what I need to use, through which thing I can measure the such kind of variables which cannot directly we can measure. So I think you people have heard about, there are measurement scales. Yes or no? How many of you have heard about measurement scales?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Many of you have heard,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Very good. Yeah. So measurement scales are the yardstick, or we can say it's a way or procedure using that we can measure the variable, right? So the variables which we cannot directly measure, using these scales we can measure those kind of variables. These are known as the measurement scales, right? If I want to can anyone tell me what is the unit of water? If I want to buy a water bottle from the market, what I need to say?
Liter.
Liter. I need to have a, yes, I need to have a 1 liter bottle, a water bottle, something like that I can say. So that means for such kind of things, proper apparatus, proper units are available. But for these type of things which we are dealing in the research, or maybe in the management field, or maybe in the social science field, for such kind of things, we do not have proper apparatus or units available. So for measuring them, we are having the measurement scales. And measurement scales, if I can say, we can say there are 4 kinds of measurement scale: nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale,
Ratio.
and ratio scale. Very correct. Thank you, ma'am. So now if I say nominal scale is the very basic scale among all 4 scales. This is the very first scale, I must say. If we say nominal scale, the working of the nominal scale is only the identification, or I can say categorization. So this is the working of the nominal scale. We can, using the nominal scale, we can only do the categorization of the respondents or of the object, or we can do the only identification of the objects, right? Say for example, always in my FDPs and workshops, always I take a very simple example to understand nominal scale, that is a gender. So I can say, if I am asking a gender of the respondents from whom I am collecting the data, so it is quite obvious. Generally, the answer will be male and female. Whether a respondent will be the male or female, or maybe there can be third category also possible if I am dealing with such kind of research topic, right? Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that way I can say, if I am collecting the gender of the respondent, so I can say I can divide my respondents on the basis of gender, and I can say these number of people are the male belonging to the male category, and these number of the people or group members are belonging to the female category, right? So these are the male respondents and these are the female respondents. It is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if I say, suppose I have received the data like this, right? Now, in statistics, because we are talking about data analysis in this FDP, so I think we all know statistics has a biggest limitation. Can anyone tell me what is the limitation of the statistics? Yes.
Because, ma'am, we use different codes because we are not using the full names here. We are using simple terms for that particular variable or parameter.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else can tell me what is the biggest limitation of this statistics? Yes. Anyone? Okay, no issues. I'm telling you, the biggest limitation of statistics is that it cannot deal with the qualitative terms. Means if I say I am a female, you are saying I am a male. If such kind of data I am having, statistics I cannot apply on such kind of data. So this is the limitation of statistics. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, thank you. So in that case, what we need to do, we need to do the coding. I think Walid sir, I don't know the exact name. I think Walid sir, right? He was
Yes,
saying
Walid,
something
ma'am.
about Walid. Yeah. Yes. So the Khan sir, I think Khan sir is quite easier for me to say. So I'll call you Khan sir, right? So Khan sir was saying to us that we need to code the data. He is very correct. If we are having the qualitative data with us, we need to code the data because statistics cannot deal with the qualitative terms, right? So what we can do, suppose we are giving some number to our categories. So suppose I'm categorizing male as 1, female as 2. So wherever the male will come, I will type 1. Wherever the female will come, I'll type 2. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that means it does not mean that 1 is equals to male and 2 is equal, means it is only for the identification purpose. I have written 1 is male and 2 is female. Is it clear now? Right. So now using this kind of coding, we can apply statistics on the data. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Now, going ahead, talking about the next scale, that is the ordinal scale. So ordinal scale is a step ahead. It is one more step ahead. If I say ordinal scale, so it will have the characteristics of its previous scale. So order will always remain same the way I have written the order, that is nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio, right? So always firstly we are talking about the nominal scale, and if I say ordinal, so ordinal scale will have the characteristics or features of its previous scale, that is the nominal scale. And the feature is what we all know, it is categorization, right? So this will always be inherent in the ordinal scale. Along with this, we will have one more feature in this scale, that is the ordering. Right? Rank order will always be there when we are talking about the ordinal scale. So for example, if I say socio-economic status, right? Right? SES, usually people have heard about. So suppose I am saying low, middle, and high. I can say these people are belonging to the low socioeconomic status. These are belonging to middle. These are belonging to high socioeconomic status. That way I can bifurcate. That way I can classify my respondents. It is clear. So the first characteristics is done. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I can arrange these categories in order. So order can be low, medium, and high. This is the
Order.
ascending order. I am arranging the these categories in ascending order, low, medium, and high. If I say high, medium and low. This is a descending order. Is it
Descending
clear?
order.
Yeah. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So that way, when I talk about ordinal scale, it will have the categorization of the data, and also we can order that data or order those category in that we are categorizing the data. So this is known as the ordinal scale. Moving ahead, talking about the next scale, that is the interval scale. It will have the characteristics of its previous scales. So I can say it will have the categorization, it will have the order. Along with that, it will have the equal distance between those categories, right? The best example to understand the interval scale is the temperature scale. I think we all have, maybe those who people have studied research methodology in the books, most of the time we are getting only this example, that is the temperature scale example under the interval scale, right? Now we will see, apart from equal distance in this interval scale, there is one drawback, and the drawback is it will has arbitrary zero, right? So this is the drawback of the interval scale. Now we will understand this thing using the example, that is the temperature scale. So I think we all have seen the temperature scale. Thermometer we have all have seen, right? I think in our home also we will be having that. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I think everyone has seen the thermometer, and we know when we talk about thermometer. So if I say 10 degrees Celsius and the 15 degrees Celsius, distance is
5, ma'am.
yes. Similarly, 15 and 20, distance is
5.
5, ma'am.
so that means when I say interval scale, it will has the categorization, it will has the order, and it will has the equal distance among the categories. But the biggest drawback of the interval scale is that it will have the arbitrary zero. Arbitrary zero means the zero which I have put arbitrary on a particular scale. Now, what is this meaning? So the meaning is very simple. If I say temperature scale, if I say 0 degrees Celsius, so can anyone tell me what are the characteristics of temperature? How we can identify that this is a temperature, or how we can feel temperature? Can anyone
Hot
tell
or
me?
cold? Hot, cold.
Very good, very good. When we say I am feeling, suppose we are nowadays the winter season is prevailing in India, so we can say we are feeling cold, right? So that means with the help of that we can understand what would be the approximate temperature. If we are in the summer, we are saying we are feeling very hot today, or the weather is very hot today, right? So that way that we can understand that this is the temperature. That way we can feel, right? But if I say 0 degrees Celsius, so 0 degrees Celsius means what we will feel at 0?
Cold.
Cold.
Very correct. At 0 degrees Celsius, we are feeling cold. So meaning is that if I am measuring the characteristics of temperature using the temperature scale, and if I am saying this is the 0, that means it should not present there. But still at 0, I can feel cold. So that means that thing is still present there, or one of the characteristics of temperature is still present there. So that way, arbitrary to develop that scale, the scientists have put there a 0 value. Is it clear?
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes.
every time this equal distance should not be possible, because different parameter, if you are taking example from temperature, for example, we will take some other example. So this interval should be remain equal every time.
Yes, sir. This is the characteristics of interval scale. If you are using interval scale, so this is the characteristics.
Okay, ma'am. But ma'am, for example, if we will taking the experiment where there should be not this this controlled conditions, there should be uncontrolled conditions. So where there should not be possible of interval, how we will have an idea about the interval be having the same distance.
Sir, what is the variable name you said?
I'm just taking example, ma'am. I'm not fixing the variable now.
But what we are measuring, what you said?
For example, we are conducting an experiment, so we don't know the interval.
But sir, this is the scale which I am telling you, because there are only 4 skills available when we talk about measurement skills, right? So interval scale, this is the specialty of the interval scale, that when we are talking about the interval scale, it is using a equal distance between the categories. So might be possible whatever things you are taking, so you can categorize them, and in those category you can keep a distance equal.
Okay, okay. So, ma'am, we will use this scale only when we have, for example, we are examining the monthly data of some rainfall. For example, this month, in next month, after next month. So we will use this interval scale for determining the this pattern.
Sir, but if I say, if you're talking about the rainfall, so I think for rainfall, we are already having a scale. These are the scales which we are using. For example, because in social sciences, there are many variables available, which we cannot measure using an apparatus, right? Because if I say rainfall, we can say there is 1 inches rainfall or 2 inches rainfall, something. That way we can measure that thing, right? So there is a proper unit, proper thing is available. Here, when I talk about interval scales, so these type of scales are for those variables which we cannot directly measure.
Okay, qualitative. It is qualitative.
Yes. Yes, we can say it is a qualitative variables which we cannot directly measure. Say, for example, attitude of a person, perception of a person. We cannot directly measure these kind of variables. So for such kind of variables, so for example, I want to measure consumer behavior, because suppose if I am belonging to a marketing field, because here so of the many of the participants, those who are from the management side, some are from the HR side, some are from the marketing side, finance, likewise, right? So in such case, we need to deal with such kind of variables which we cannot directly measure, and they are qualitative in nature, right? So we can call. So in that case, we need to use such kind of skills. But where we are having a proper apparatus available, units available, in that case, there is no need of using such kind of skills, right?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. So I hope interval scale is clear. May I move ahead? Yes. May I get any confirmation?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, the last scale is the ratio scale. So if I say, we are proceeding, every scale is having the characteristics or features of its previous scales, right? So ratio scale will have categorization. Ratio scale will have the ordering of the categories. It will have the equal distance, and it will have the absolute zero. So these are the 4 skills. For example, if I'm saying income of a person, it is quite possible I can find a person with the 0 income, right? So these are the 4 skills. Using that, we can measure such kind of variables which we cannot directly measure in the real world. Is it fine, everyone? Okay with this?
Yes.
Yeah. Now I'll take you to the SPSS environment. I'm showing you. I think I shared my screen with the SPSS window. I think you people can see this window, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, fine. Thank you. Now you can see when I say SPSS, the look of SPSS is very, very similar to the Excel. Yes or no? I think many of you have used also, right?
Yes.
So the look is very similar to the Excel, but in Excel, there are generally we call our Excel sheet as a workbook, and in that workbook, we can enter so many Excel sheets, right? But here, when we talk about SPSS, in SPSS, we will have only 2 worksheets with the name. You can see I am rotating my mouse at the left lower side, and you can see this is the data view, and this is the variable view. So these are the only 2 worksheets available in SPSS with the name data view and with the name variable view. Now we will see the working of these 2 views, right? So firstly, you can see the first, that is data view. The color of the button is different. That is something yellow I can see. I don't know while I have shared my screen which color you people are able to see. But here I can see it's a yellow color. So that means presently the data view is activated, right? If I'll click on the variable view, you would be landed on the second worksheet, that is the variable view. And here, this particular worksheet or this particular view will help you out to create your own variables. Is it clear? May I start explaining you how to create variables?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, firstly, you need to see, generally, if I say row wise, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that means this is showing you these are the number of variables you can create. But on various parameters, these are the, you can see the headings or headings of the columns. You can see using these particular headings, using these particular parameters, you need to create your variable, right? So here my cursor is on the first cell. So here I'm creating my first variable. I'll show you, I'm writing the name. I have written very simple name, that is gender, right? So I have typed here gender. But there are certain rules in SPSS for defining the name of your variable, right? The very simple thing is, if I want to start my variable name with some number, suppose I have written here 1 gender. Now you can see I'm pressing here a tab button. I think you cannot see what I'm doing here. So I'm telling you, now I'm pressing a tab button from shifting from this cell to the next cell, right? You can see I'm doing this. Once I have pressed tab button, you can see SPSS has thrown a error to me. It is showing me variable name contains an illegal first character. So the rule is you cannot start your variable name with the number. Is it clear to all?
Okay,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yeah. Now, if suppose I have written, now I have, what I did, I have written here the dollar and gender, right? I have typed here dollar and then I have written gender. Now I am pressing a tab button. Again, you can see it is throwing a problem or error to me. It is saying invalid variable name. So again, it is showing me, that means with the dollar sign, I cannot start the name of my variable. Now I am trying using hashtag, and again it is giving me a error, right? So that means if I want to use or I want to define the name of my variable, I need to use normal apart from this. If I want to use at the rate, in that case SPSS will not throw you any of the error. You can see now I am pressing a tab button and it is created normally, right? So at the rate is allowed by SPSS. Through using that, you can start the name of your variable. Up to you, the way you want to do. I am using a plain gender name to my I want to give the plain name as gender to my variable, right? So I have written here gender. But if suppose some more gender I have taken in my file, so in that case I can give gender 1, gender 2, gender 3. That means after the name of the variable I can put numbers. In that case you can see SPSS will not throw any of the error. I am typing here tab, no error we are getting. But if I will put 1 gender, it will throw a error to me. Is it clear to us all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
So you can see, yeah, thank you everyone. So now you can see once I am shifting from this cell to the next cell, automatically few of the cells are filled by SPSS. Means these are the by default values of these particular
Madam, I
characteristics.
just have one question, please.
Yeah.
Madam, this session can be seen later on YouTube also, right?
I guess, yes, I think sir has shared the links
Yeah,
of
because in
YouTube.
case we miss out on any point, that's why
And
I'm
I
asking.
think you can do one more thing on my YouTube channel also. These things are available. You can find me with
Surely,
Dr.
madam.
Sujan. So
Thank you very
there
much.
also the things are available.
Thank
Yeah. So may I move ahead now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now you can see few of the fields are already filled by the SPSS. In that case, you can see the type of my variable is numeric. So by default, SPSS is taking every variable as numeric variable. But what if I'm dealing with a string variable? Suppose I have created here a name variable. So name is, it is quite obvious, name cannot be a numeric variable, right? So in that case, you need to click on these 3 dots. Once you will click, the variable type dialog box will come. And then you can click here the string, because we know the name cannot be a numeric variable. It will always be a string variable. So you can click on OK, and that way it will be a string variable, right? So this way you can change the type of your variable. Now coming to the width. Width is generally for the string variable. There is no use of width in case of numeric variable, right? In case of string variable, in case of character variable, width will restrict you to enter the number we are putting here. Suppose I have put here 8, that means I can only enter 8 characters in that cell for the name variable. Say for example, I want to enter the data maybe filled by, suppose, me only, right? So my name is Chanchla. So Chanchla is almost 9 characters word, right? So that way, if I have defined the width here 8, that way it will only allow me to enter Chanchal. I cannot write Chanchla. I need to come here and I need to change the width using these up and down arrow. If I want to increase, I can use this up arrow. I want to decrease the width, I can use this down arrow. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now coming to the next, as you can see, for when I have set my variable type as a string, the decimal point is coming as 0. It is quite obvious. SPSS is smart that enough that it is understanding we are dealing with a string variable, and a string variable cannot be defined in the decimal point. So it has made it as 0. But for numeric, it has kept the value as 2. Means I can define the numeric variable up to 2 decimal points here. But if I want to increase these decimal points, again I can use this up and down arrow. But we know gender cannot be in the decimal points. Generally we can give 1 or 2, something like. So we can make it 0 using these down arrow key. Is it clear? May I go to the
I
next?
have confusion regarding this string and numeric type.
Yes, Khan sir, please ask.
I am confused about this string variable and numerical. First, you have put numeric value, then there should be string. So I am confused.
Okay, no problem, Khan sir. I think, as I said, name, right? Name cannot be a numeric variable. Say for example, your name. As I'm saying, Khan, Khan, Walid, I think, right? Walid Khan. So it is a character we are using to define you. I'm writing your name as using different alphabets. So it is a kind of a string variable. Is it clear? But if I say gender, if I'm entering gender as male and female, I can put their string. But as I said, if I want to perform some analysis using gender, I need to make it numeric. I need to use coding for male and female category. The way I have shown you in the document which I was showing you previously. I hope you have seen, right? So that is why deliberately I have kept here gender as numeric, because I want to enter 1 2 1 2 1 2. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now further coming to the label. Label is nothing but it is a extension of the name. In the name, defining the name, there are various restrictions. Say for example, if I want to write here gender of participant, right? I think everyone has seen what I have typed here. I have typed here gender of participants. Now you can see again I am pressing a tab key. Once I will press a tab key, again SPSS will throw a warning message. Variable name contains an illegal character. That means we cannot put space between 2 words, right? So if I want to write this, I need to use either underscore or either this period sign, that is dot. You can see at one place I have written underscore, at one place I have written dot or period. And now I'm pressing a tab. No error we are getting. Can you understand this thing? Right?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
So this is quite, I think what I can say, it is not looking good if I am writing like this. So what I can do, I can come here in label and I can define my variable name clearly here without any hurdles. So that way you can see I do not need to put here the underscore, I do not need to put here the dot, even any number of characters I can enter here to define the name of my variable in a better way. So the name should be a clear and concise type of thing, and label which should be a descriptive thing which we can write in the label section. And that way in the future, if we are using the same worksheet, same sheet, if we are using SPSS sheet we are using for the other researches, so this label will always help us to understand what is the meaning of that particular variable name. Is it clear to all?
Clear, ma'am.
Yeah. Coming to the next, the most important part here, I think, Khan sir, you can see here, it is showing us values. As I said, as you asked me why we have kept here numeric, and you are having some confusion in string and numeric. So you can see I have written here numeric because purposefully I have done this because I want to write the gender as 1 and 2. But what is the meaning of 1? What is the meaning of 2? Maybe if we are using the same sheet after 2 months, it is quite obvious this is the human mind, and we can easily forget this thing that 1 is for male, 2 is for female. I think this happens many times with me. So using these values, what we can do, we can come here and we can write value is 1 and label is suppose male, and you can add this, and then you can write 2 and you can write the label as female, and you can add this, right? And you can press OK, and once you will press OK, these labels and values will be defined here. So this way in the future, if you are using the same sheet, you can see what is the meaning of 1, what is the meaning of 2, likewise. Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes. Coming to the next, talking about the missing values. So missing values is what? Missing value in SPSS, I must say there are two types of missing values. I need to switch to the next sheet, to the document. Here I am writing in SPSS. There are two types of missing values. The very first one is system defined, and second one is user defined. So these are the two types of missing values in SPSS: system defined missing value and user defined missing value, right? So system defined missing values are missing values which are not available, means the values which are not available with us. Say for example, we have circulated our questionnaire in the hard form. Usually in present era we are using Google form, and we are making a particular field restricted or compulsory for the respondents. So that is why they have to anyhow give the response to a particular question, right? But usually sometimes it happens we are collecting the data through particular maybe website or something, secondary data suppose we are collecting, or maybe we are using hard copies of the questionnaire to collect the data. So we cannot force a person to give the response for each and every question. Maybe a person is not comfortable in giving some answers, or maybe in hurry he or she is filling a questionnaire, so they can skip some of the questions, right? So that way we are not having such kind of data, and this data is known as system defined missing value, because once you will enter the data in software, you would unable to write any value at that particular position, right? So this will become the system defined missing value for us. Is it clear? I hope, right?
Yes.
Yes. Now
I have one
defined-
question, ma'am.
Yes.
As you are saying that if we are having manual data, then how we will enter into SPSS?
Either you can enter on Excel, right? And you can bring the Excel, you can import the Excel file here, or the way I have shown you. I think you can come here in the data view and you can see I'm writing here 1, 2, whatever you want to write. You can do that like that.
Okay, fine. Thank
Right?
you.
Yeah. So that way we
Yes.
can enter the data, or we can import the data from some other files also. So this way we can bring data in the data view of the SPSS. Although I have not talked about the data view, I was on variable view. So might be possible I have not told you that thing. So that way I was talking about the missing values. I think I explained you system defined missing value. Now we are talking about the second missing value, that is the user defined missing value. So user defined missing value we can define under this variable view using this particular option missing value, right? Say for example, suppose firstly I have collected the data. Suppose I want to measure the work life balance of male and female both. Usually we know for female it is quite tough, but suppose we are conducting a study and in which we want to measure the work-life balance for male and female both, right? But might be possible from same data. Suppose in future I want to conduct a study only by taking the female category or only by taking the male category, right? So in that case, what you can do, you can come here in this particular variable view, and using this missing value, you can see once I have clicked on this, three dots or this particular box is coming. I can click on this and we would be able to see missing values dialog box. By default, there is no missing value from the SPSS side, but being a user, if I want to define some missing value, I can use two of the options. Either I can use the first option, means here it is second option, that is discrete missing values, and the next one is the range plus one optional discrete missing value. So as we can see, we are dealing with a gender, and in gender there are only two missing values, two values available, that is 1 and 2. So it is quite obvious we cannot use range plus one optional, right? So the most suitable one is the discrete missing value. And if suppose I want to only deal with the female data, I can write here 1 and I can press OK. Once I will press OK, that way now SPSS has understood this thing, that it has not used to the data of male persons. That means wherever it is written 1, the SPSS will not use that data for the analysis. Is it clear? That way, being a user, we can define our own missing values in SPSS using the variable view and this missing column option. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Done. Now further talking about the columns and alignment, you can see columns and alignment are nothing. These are very simple things which we are dealing in the Excel also. We have dealt with the Excel. So in Excel, we know, means these are only for the what I can say, beautification purpose of your data, right? So if I say by default column figure is 8, right? I'm coming here in the data view and you can see, suppose I'm stretching this column, that is the name column, and you can see its impact in the column value. It is 14. So by default, it will show you 14 characters, or once means whatever value I will set, by default that type of that particular width character it will show you. So that's all. This is the meaning of this column, right? Now talking about alignment, I think we all are well versed with this alignment. Generally for numeric, the alignment is right. It is same. The Excel means in Excel, whatever the same alignment is followed in Excel, same is followed in SPSS. For numeric, by default alignment is right. For a string variable, the by default alignment is right. But if you want to make changes, you can click here and you can do the alignment as left, right, or center. Totally up to you. Is it clear?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think there is no
Yes, ma'am.
to understand this. Yes, thank you. Coming to the next, talking about the measure. Measure is what we have already discussed, that is the measurement scale. Although I have told you there are 4 types of measurement scale, I said to you there are these scales like nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. But once you will click here, you would be able to see there are only 3 scales in SPSS with the name nominal, ordinal, and scale. That means if you are dealing with the interval variable, if you are dealing with, sorry, if you right, if you are dealing with the interval variable or you are dealing with the ratio variable, you can keep the type of measure for that particular variable as scale. So we can say interval and ratio are both clubbed under the scale category. Is it clear in SPSS?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So according to your variable, you can set the scale of your variable. Usually we are dealing here with the gender, so I have kept here the nominal. So this way, using these various characteristics, these various features, we can define the name of our variable. I hope you people have understood how to define variable name. Once we are defining the name of the variables, we would be able to see the name as a column heading in the data view. As you can see, we have defined only 2 variables, gender and name, and we can see this, right? Suppose here I am defining one more variable, age, right? I'm making the decimal point 0. This is deliberately I have done for you. I want to show you something here, right? Here I'm entering few more values. names I'm typing, suppose A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. I think I'm not getting any voices. I hope you people are listening to me, right? May I continue?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you. I'm entering few figures here to tell you one more feature of the SPSS. See, I have entered few ages here. I have entered gender. I have entered the name as A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Right now, in SPSS, apart from defining the variable name, some other things also we can perform. Right. So I think I cannot discuss everything here, but few things I need to tell you. I think I need to firstly click on the transform menu. I hope you would be able to see two things here: record into same variables, record into different variables. I hope it is visible to all. May I start explaining these two?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So from the name itself, it is quite clear. Recode into same variables means whatever you have code, whatever coding you have given, you can record it in the same variable, right? Then recode whatever coding you have given, you can record that into the different variable. That means if we are going with the first option, it will replace your existing variable coding. If we are using the second option, it will create one more variable, and whatever values you have given previously, that will be remain same in the that particular column, and SPSS will create one more column with the new codings. Is it clear? So up to us which of the recording we want to use. Usually people can use, means people can use any one of these, but suggestive one is from my side is record into different variables, because that way we can preserve our previous data, and might be that data we can use in future also. So usually we need to keep our original data as it is, and we should go with the record into different variables. Is it clear? So I will determine that, but what it will do functioning means is same, but in the first option it will replace the values of your existing variable, and in the second it will create a new variable for you with the new coding. Is it
Yes,
clear?
ma'am.
So I'll go with the next option. Yeah, thank you. I'll go with the next option, that is record into different variable. The age variable, I want to record my age variable. I'm shifting age variable from this box to this box using this arrow key, right? So I'm shifting age from left box to right box. Now you can see it is shifted, and it is showing you the arrow sign and then question mark. It is asking you that what output variable I want to create with this age variable, because I have done record into the different variable. I need to define the name here. Suppose I am giving the name as recorded age. I have deliberately written here underscore because this is SPSS. It will not allow me to write the name of variable without any underscore or the point, right? So that is because I'm using two words to define the name of my variable. Done. And I can click here on change button. Once I'll do that, you would be able to see now it has showing you now your age variable will be coded as the recorded age variable. This would be your output variable. Then you need to click on old and new values. Once you will click on this, here there are various options available. First is the, just a minute, I need to shift this. Okay, I think, give me a second. Yeah. Now you can see there are in the old values, there are various options available. So suppose if I'll go with the first, I can write here the value, which is the old value. Suppose I am writing here 21. I want to code 21 as the new value, suppose 1. So I can write here 1. But apart from that, because we are dealing with the age, so I can go with the range also. So suppose if I am writing here from from 21 to suppose 30. Suppose this is what I have written. These are the means from 21 to 30. This is the range I have given, and I want to code that as 1. Done. And I'm clicking here on add button. So now whatever are the age, that is from 21 to 30, they will be coded as a 1, right? Coming in the next and writing suppose 31 to 40, right? And I want to code them as 2, and I'm pressing add button. Now coming here 41 to 50, I want to code it as 3. I'm adding. I think not more than 50 I have taken anything, right? So this way you can see these are the coding I have done. Once I'll press on continue button, you would be landed on the previous page. Here you need to only press on OK. So you can see, you would be able to see one more window. This is known as the output viewer window. So here the output will be given by the SPSS. It is showing you that we have done the recording of the age variable. So these are the codings we have given. Now we want to see these codings. So you can see now new variable is created as the recorded age, and from 21 to 30 we have given the 1. You can check here whatever are the values which are falling in between 21 to 30, they will be coded as 1. From 31 to 40 will be coded as 2, and from 41 to 50 is coded as 3. These two you can find, right? So this way you can keep your previous or original variable preserved, and you can code that variable with some new codings in SPSS. This is the one way of coding or recoding of your data. I think it is clear, right? May I go ahead?
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Now, if I say, for example, I want to create some, I think I'll go for the descriptive statistics today. Can anyone tell me what is the second day agenda? Do you have that description? Do I need to discuss descriptive statistics tomorrow? So I will go for something else today. Do you have that? Anyone?
Yes, ma'am. Day 2 is normality and reliability of data.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
No issues. You need to do. Can anyone tell what do you mean by descriptive statistics?
Like age, gender, income.
Okay. Anyone else?
Mean more than
Describes
median.
the data, summarize.
May I know the name?
Madhavi ma'am.
Very correct, Madhavi. So when we call descriptive statistics, we are using to summarizing of the data, because this is the very first step in statistics. After cleaning our data, we need to perform descriptive statistics to see or to understand what kind of data we are having. Descriptive data, descriptive statistics generally includes measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion, and measures of distribution. Mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, skewness, and kurtosis. I think you all have heard these things, right? Now, analyze menu, not having this. So what you people can do, you can note down their steps, how to perform descriptive statistics in SPSS. So you can note down, analyze, and in analyze, we need to select descriptive statistics, and then
Madam,
yes.
what is the purpose of descriptive statistics? When do we use it exactly?
So to summarize the data, generally we need to know whether what is the mean of our data, what is the median of our data, what is the variance in the data, what is the skewness and kurtosis of the data. Because once we are knowing all these things, we can understand whether the data is normal or not. If normality is not known to us, we cannot decide that further statistical tools.
Okay.
Yes. So now you people can take a picture of this. Rather than writing, if you do not want to write, you can take a picture. It is showing you analyze, descriptive statistics, and then descriptives. Is it fine? May I click on descriptives?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I'm shifting the age variable, which is very suitable among all the variables we are having. right? Because the age is a kind of variable which is a scale variable, right? I'm shifting this variable from the left box to the right box, and then you do not need to do anything. But still, I'll show you. Click on the options button. If you will click on the options button, it is showing you, if you will go with directly on clicking OK, it will give you the mean of the age, standard deviation of the age, minimum of the age, maximum of the age. Apart from that, if you want to get kurtosis and skewness, you can click here and you can click on the continue button. That's all. Apart from that, nothing extra we need to find here. And then we can click on OK button. Once I'll click on OK, I would be getting the output in the output sphere for the descriptive statistics of age. I hope output window is visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now you can see it is at the extreme left, it is showing the name of the variable. And in the first column, we can see capital N is nothing, but it is showing the number of observations we are having. So we are having total 10 observations for the age, or 10 values for the age, right? And all the 10 values are the valid values. So it is coming as 10. Minimum of the age is 21. Maximum of the age is 49. Mean of the age is 32.8. Standard deviation of the age is 9.259. Skewness is coming as 0.486, and kurtosis is coming as 0.519. Right? That you need analyze menu. You can click on descriptive statistics, and then you can click on explore button, right? And from explore, you can shift your age variable to the dependent list box, and you can click on statistics. By default, it is giving you the descriptive statistics at 95% level. Click on continue button. Then if you want to see some more things, that is the box plot, if you want to check. Apart from that, if you want to create the histogram, that also you can do, and you can press here the continue button. Once you will click on OK, you will see your output is generated. Each variable, sometime it is showing me running examination, so it will maybe generate in few seconds. Wait for few seconds, and then the output for the age will be generated by SPSS in terms of one more option of the descriptive statistics in the SPSS. Meanwhile, if you are having any queries, you can ask me. Meanwhile, it is generating output for us.
If we have data in Excel sheet, for example, so directly we will put data in this.
Give me a second. After this, I'll take that point, right? I'll show you how to import the data here, right? Fine, sir?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Now you can see the output is generated here. For the first table, we can see it is a case processing summary, which is showing us for age. We are having 10 observations or 10 values, and all 10 are valid. There is no missing value, because you can see every value is filled, right? So there is no missing value, and total is 10. Coming to the descriptive, you can see mean is 32.8. 95 confidence interval for mean is 26.18, 39.42. This is upper bound and lower bound. 5% trimmed mean means if suppose there are certain outliers available. I think you people are knowing the term outlier. Can anyone tell me what do you mean by outlier? Yes.
Something that is not following the general trend.
Very good. Which is known as outlier, means the distinct value which is very different from the remaining data set, which is not following the same type of pattern in the data, is known as the outlier, right? So if you are having an outlier available, so using this 5% trim means it will remove the outlier. Outlier can be at either side, at the upper side or at the lower side. So in 5% trim mean, outliers from both the side will be removed. 5% outlier from both the side will be removed, and this will be the trimmed mean, right? So you can see might be possible some outlier is available. That is why mean and trimmed mean value is little different, right? Median is 32.5. variance is 85%. As we these 2 points today.
Excuse
Is
me,
it
madam.
okay? We will discuss these.
Madam,
Yeah.
many times when we do research and we have to find out that we have to do the t-test and other things, many times we just want the result, whether the p-value is within 0.05 or outside. So it's not necessary that we need to know all these meanings of these parts. And we can simply go do our t-test or other things and come out.
No problem.
Isn't
You
it?
can do that, sir. But usually, as I said, for each and every statistical test, there are certain assumptions. Like we need to know whether the data is normally distributed or not. Because in our upcoming days, I'll tell you how to check those assumptions also. Using these things only we can measure or we can check the
But
assumptions.
for that, we need to have a
So,
good knowledge of statistics also.
so I think I'll try my best to explain you those things.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah. Now further, we'll go ahead and talking about the histogram. This is the histogram. Usually, because data is very small, we are having only 10 observations. So that is why we are getting such kind of histogram. But if I want to check whether, I think you people are knowing this thing, histogram, which we are generally using to check the normality of the data, right? How we can check the normality using this particular diagram, we can check. But I think it is little difficult. If we will put a normal distribution curve on this, maybe this can help us. So what you need to do, you need to double click on this. Once you will double click, you would be landed on the chart editor. Just a minute. Now here we are at the chart editor, and here under this you can see at the very last bar you can find the normal distribution curve, or the distribution curve is available. I need to only click on this and it will show me that one more window of the properties, and by default you can see normal distribution curve is shown, right? You can only close this, you can close your chart editor also, and you would be see your normal distribution curve will be there, or the bell-shaped curve will be on your histogram. And using that you can understand whether your variable is normally distributed or not. Usually sometimes it happens, it is quite difficult to understand the normality using the graphical representation. But if you are expertise in that, you can do that, right? Here looking at these tails, as you can see that right tail is very close to the x-axis, but the left tail is not much closer to the x-axis, right? So that way we can say there is some problem in the normality of the data. These should be almost similar, right? And as the data is very little, so I think it is little difficult for us to say anything. We can proceed and we can see one more thing, that is the box plot. Box plot has generally 5 things. The middle line is the median value. You can make a box on your notebook and you can write this is the median value. The upper wall of this box is the third quartile, lower wall of this box is the first quartile. This is your upper whisker and this is your, sorry.
You are running very quickly, please.
Okay. So from where I need to repeat?
Box plot.
Okay. So there are 5 things. This is the middle line with there in your box. So this middle line will show you I think you can see this is your third quartile. This is your first quartile. This area is known as upper whisker. This area is known as lower whisker. And if some of the figures are outliers in your data, they will come beyond these whiskers. If the outliers is available in your data, which is upper, which is the large values, so they will come at this particular side, that is upper side. if the figures or the sum of the values are very small, in that case they will fall beyond the lower whisker with the help of circles, usually small
Ma'am,
circles. Right.
if
Yes, sir.
if all the data falls within this box, then what should
Sorry?
be, if all the values of our data will fall in the box, not in
This box?
upper whisker or this, yes ma'am, this box medium, near to
So
medium line
mind you,
or
then
in,
it is quite possible. It is possible. It can happen. In that case, your data is not normally distributed.
if our data is in box, so we will say that our data is not
Not
normally
normally
distributed.
distributed, because some of the data should fall. Usually, I think the normal distribution curve says, maybe you have heard about mu plus minus 1 sigma, mu plus minus 2 sigma, mu plus minus 3 sigma. So mu plus minus 1 sigma meaning is what? It is containing approximate. It is containing approximate 68.27% of your data. Mu plus minus 2 sigma contains approximate 95% of our data, and mu plus minus 3 sigma contains approximate 99.73% data. Means some data will usually fall on the usually on the tails. So until and unless if I say box plot is nothing but it is the
Ma'am,
depiction of your histogram,
ma'am,
right?
in many papers I have seen that they are using this box and whisker plot. So what is the main purpose of using this type of plot for our research? But
This
to
is
this,
generally box plot is generally used for diagnosing the outliers in the data, right? So if some circles, we will see these things towards the data is the call of a researcher, whether you will go ahead with the outliers in your data, because answerable will be the researcher. Any journal with the outliers, if you are showing your box plot is containing outliers, so in that case maybe the reviewer can raise a question that why you are continuing your analysis even still putting the outlier in your data. So in that case the researcher, means maybe if you or maybe me, I'll be, or maybe you or I will be the responsible or answerable to that particular type of question. So maybe might be possible sometime it happens outliers are very important for us, so might be possible we are keeping them. If we are finding them these are not important for us, we can drop them.
okay.
So box plot is used for the outliers.
How to judge, ma'am? How to judge that outliners are that beneficial for us or not?
Sorry.
How to identify that the outliners are beneficial for us? We should include outliners in our data or not?
So as I said, it is totally a researcher's discretion. No one can say this thing. If you are finding that that particular, suppose in this is the age, right? And if suppose age of a person is suppose 80, 80 means it will come somewhere here, right? So if that would be your
Yes.
then you can follow. viewer is showing me this computation has been performed, right? I can come in my data sheet and I can see this is the satisfaction level average value. Is it clear?
Yes,
Fine.
ma'am.
Okay. So I think this is all from my side for the day. If you are having any queries, now the platform is open, or else.
अपन एक बार दोबारा बता देंगे इसको S1 S2 S3 satisfaction.
Okay. I said, suppose for measuring satisfaction, I have taken 3 questions on Likert scale, right? Suppose I'm talking about these classes. The pedagogy used by the expert is effective, right? The delivery of the or the delivery pattern of the expert is effective, something like that. So you people have given some ratings to me, right? So these ratings, suppose I have recorded here on a scale of 1 to 5. Now, using the transform, I have clicked on the compute variable, and firstly, under the target variable, I need to give the name of my target variable, means which column I want to create. So I want to create a satisfaction column here. Totally up to you. There is no foundation. What name you need to give, up to you, your understanding, the way you want to give the name, you can give it, right? Coming to the next. Now I want to get the average. So average is these 3. So what I did, I have shifted S1, S2, and S3. So I want to take the sum of all these 3, and these are the 3 values. So I divided that by 3, and I have pressed on OK. So I have pressed on OK. I would be able to see this particular calculation in my sheet. Is it fine, sir?
Right, ma'am.
Okay. So I think now platform is open for some other queries. May I stop sharing my screen so that I can see you all now?
Can you show the variable view once again, madam? Just for a click.
Yeah.
One moment.
Please, ma'am, how to export Excel data on SPSS?
Yeah, sorry. I forgot. Thank you so much for reminding me. Thank you. I think from tomorrow I'll show you. Is it fine? From tomorrow only I will give you sheets and we will need to export them in the SPSS.
Okay.
Tomorrow I'll explain you. But my humble request from all the participants, before tomorrow session, means before starting of the tomorrow session, please download SPSS using IBM SPSS. What I can say, window, you can go to that particular website. You can create your own account, and you can freely download a 1-month trial version from there. Probably 28 version is the new version available there. I am using 25. I am explaining you through 25 because I am having 25 version of SPSS. So up to you which version you want to download. 28 is the latest one.
Hello, ma'am. In group, if anybody have this cracked version, so they can share in WhatsApp group, so we can download it from.
That I cannot say on the online platform. I think it is not good to say this thing.
Actually, ma'am, after 1 month we have to buy again.
That I cannot say, sir. Totally up to the understanding of you people. If anyone is having, they can share.
Wrong question on the online platform, dear.
Yes.
Ma'am, I am having one query. Can I ask?
Yes, definitely, ma'am.
To start writing a research paper, let's say, I never understand how to design a question paper and how it is related with various hypotheses. Can you just explain how, if I'm having 3 hypotheses, so how they are related to designing a questionnaire?
Ma'am, I think you are going in a wrong direction, because firstly,
having various hypotheses in which I want to check the impact, or you can say efficiency, or you can say let's talk about 2 things only. So how I'll be going to design the questionnaire, like whether it is like this with respect to 1 hypothesis, I should have 3 questions or 4 questions.
No, ma'am, I think this is not the correct way, whatever you are saying. thing is, whenever we are talking about hypothesis, right? So as I said initially, maybe you have joined the session at that time. That time I said this thing. Always we need to go through the literature review. Whatever variable, say for example, I want to measure the perception, or suppose brand loyalty, means anything, any construct I want to measure. I need to see what kind of because I think you people are knowing about the term factor analysis also. So in factor analysis, we are trying to measure a construct, and for measuring that construct, we need to have certain factors, right? So those factors are made up of which item. You need to find this thing firstly. So whatever type of thing you are saying, I am not much clear about that, because there are so many tests available. First, you need to decide upon. Suppose you are exploring the dimensions. If you have explored the dimension, you can perform on those integration or correlation, or maybe the t-test or ANOVA, etc. That also you can do. So whenever you are talking about this thing, I will always suggest this thing, whatever type of hypothesis you are having, firstly try to identify your variables, try to find the literature related to those variables in the literature, and if you are able to find that, you would be able to get how to measure them, and accordingly you can find the questions, and that questions maybe you can use, because it is quite permissible. You can take the scales of other researchers or authors. There is no problem in that. Is it clear?
Little bit, ma'am. Can you take one example and explore? Let's
I
say
think you need to give me the example of your hypothesis, whatever hypothesis you are saying to me.
if I want to, let's say, want to know the, no, let me say, just let me think about. Because here I always get stuck up. But I want to know that what is the you can say integration of robotic automation in marketing. You can say marketing. You can say forms which are performing effective or not. So can you just explain me, if I want to go for this kind of research work, how I should proceed?
So, ma'am, firstly, you need to, as I said, first you need to find the literature. Might be possible in literature, you can find the scale also. Because if you are developing your own scale, firstly, you need to check reliability, you need to check validity. There are so many things you need to perform. But if you are using the other's scale, you need to check the reliability, and you can go ahead. Or else, means generally it happens, people are believing in creating scales also. They do that also. So suppose if you want to see the inclusion of AI in marketing, something like that, right?
Yes.
So you can see, you can ask maybe simple question. You can ask, but in that case, you need to decide. Say for example, the respondents for this study will be always be the marketers. I think customers cannot give you the answer, because you want to check the effectiveness of the AI tools in the marketing, right? So whether those two something like that, I think you are talking about, right?
Yes, right,
So
ma'am.
in
Right.
that case, you can maybe frame your own questions, like firstly, which AI tool they are using, right? Jot down or jot down the types of tools they are using. Then maybe you can ask directly, maybe you can ask, but usually it is quite tough that people will give answer. Or how will they say that yes, the sales has increased? Maybe if they are monitoring, they are maintaining the records, they can tell you yes. So maybe in that case your question will be yes or no type questions, whether the AI tool is impacting or increasing your sales. So the respondent will say yes, or he will say no. Or you are writing that the AI tools are helping to increase the sales of my company. So in that case, might be possible you are using the Likert scale. Strongly agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree. So you need to decide upon, but this would be the only one aspect. This will be only one question. You need to see which tool they are using, and that tool, whatever tool they are using, for from those tools what type of things they are performing. Maybe they are using our AI tool to increase the awareness of the products they are serving. So that way, firstly, you need to identify those things, how those AI tools are helping the marketer to showcase their product or maybe to create the awareness among the customers. And then you can ask to the marketer that AI tool is helping them to increase the sales of that. So firstly, you need to identify all the aspects those AI tools are doing or helping to that particular company for marketing. So I think this can be the one way.
Okay.
Or best way is always the literature.
So from literature review, we have to see ki what all scale are being already used
Already
on
used,
various
what
variables.
aspects they have touched upon. Might be possible now you are thinking about study or this particular skill, but might be you once you are going through the skill, you will get to know that
Any similarity? Okay.
then factor and then variable, or variable then factor and construct. Factor will be one for measuring that factor. There can be certain number of variable, and all the factors will measuring that construct.
Okay. So they are like expanding or so it's like
Expansion means for construct there can be so many 3, 4, 5 factors can be there. For factor there
right.
can, for each factor there can be 3, 4 items or questions or variables can be there.
Got it. Thank you. This gives a clarity. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Any other queries? Okay, so can we can I ask everyone to switch on the camera so that we can capture the pics? Those who can do. Okay. Thank you. I think this is all from my side for the day. Thank you so much for joining. We will meet tomorrow again with the reliability and normality concept. Before that, I request everyone to please download the SPSS so that you can perform along with me and can do the practice. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night, ma'am.
Good night, ma'am.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much,
Thank
ma'am.
you,
Good night,
ma'am.
ma'am.
I think it was a very good program, ma'am.
Thank you very
And
much,
we
ma'am.
learned
Thank
a
you.
lot from you, ma'am. Thank you. You're mute, ma'am. You're mute.
Yeah, sorry, Richa ma'am is there. Over to you. I
Yeah, ma'am.
forgot
Yeah,
you
ma'am.
are there. Okay, thank you so
No
much.
problem. No problem, ma'am. Thank you so much for giving us time and knowledge. It is,
Thank you.
and we learned a lot from you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind